The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Coming in, we're in. Hello, everybody out there listening to Arm Radio. My name is Don Whisman, and thanks for listening to my show, All Aboard. This show is being broadcast live from Boston, Massachusetts. I want to introduce my co-host and a man that I consider a brother, Dave Coots. Say hello, Dave.
Hey, guys, what's up?
And like always, I want to send my prayers out to all the men and women serving in our military, because without them, we would not have our freedoms today. And believe me, our freedoms are under attack, you guys. I mean, big time. And I do have a Facebook group called Truck 2020 ! So if you support our president, join our group. But don't forget that exclamation point, Truck 2020 ! And yes, we will be taking calls tonight. So here's the number. Get your pens out. I hope we sound good. We're using one mic tonight. We're together for a change. Dave drives the truck, so we normally don't get to go live together, but we're sitting here together tonight. And like I said, when somebody calls in, we will both be able to talk to the caller. So the number is 1-800-508-5431. Now start calling in around 8:30, 8:20. Give us a little bit of time, Eastern time. Give us a little bit of time to talk about a few subjects. Please, in case that we get a high number of viewers or callers, just try to keep your calls to about 2 minutes. Okay, okay. Does it sound better? I hope we're trying something new tonight, you guys. So bear with us if we're not coming through like we normally do. Just bear with us. We're trying something new, and Dave, we might get a guy named Brett Rowe calling tonight from Australia. So hope we get that call. All right, you ready to get the show started, Dave?
Let's do it.
All right. I can't believe it, Dave. It happened again. There was another school shooting this morning in the state of Maryland at 7:45 a.m. this morning at Great Mills High School. A student, Dave, came in with a handgun and shot two other students in the hallway. And this armed school resource officer shot and killed this kid. That's the best thing that could have happened. But here's my question to you, Dave. Why? Why isn't this getting the media coverage like the shooting did in Florida here a few weeks ago? Why, Dave?
Well, Donald, I think it's because, Maryland is a more strict gun control state. And, this kid injured two kids. And yes, they're pretty severe. But, other than the shooter, as of right now, last time I checked, nobody had died. So it doesn't fit into the media's narrative, for gun control. If anything, it proves that tighter gun control laws don't work. Let's just enforce the laws we have. Let's get our teachers armed. Let's get them carrying. Let's get more resource officers in the schools to help them, because that's the only way you're going to stop a shooter.
Well, I mean, just think, David, that resource officer hadn't been there today, and he shot that kid dead. I mean, there could have been a lot more people die today, Dave. A lot more people.
Yeah, there could have been, but they're reporting right now that this guy had a personal relationship with the female that he shot. So it almost sounds like a crazy, estranged boyfriend type situation there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the Florida school shooting. I mean, they showed that crap on TV so much, and I do pray for all the families of the victims. I thank God this kid didn't kill anybody. I know he injured two people, but this stuff's got to stop. And Dave, I'm going to let you know, you do know this. I made a live video yesterday, and I was talking about my AR. I just got a brand new AR. I went to shoot it the other day for the first time, and I made a video and was telling people about this AR, and it kind of shoots like a .22 rifle, and that I think a 12-gauge shotgun will do more damage than this AR that I've got. And somebody made a comment to me, Dave, and he's like, well, what reason, other than having fun shooting your gun, do you need to have this kind of weapon? So I'm going to go back. My reason is I don't need a reason because I have a right. I don't need a reason because we have a right. It says so in our Constitution, the Second Amendment, that we have a right to bear arms. And that them kind of questions just really, it ticks me off, Dave. I mean, what would you say if somebody asked you, what reason do you have for an AR-15, Dave? Well, I mean, what would you tell them?
The exact same thing. That is our right. It's God given to us. We have a right to protect ourselves. We have a right to protect our family. And then you have people that talk about, well, the Second Amendment was written back when they had muskets. Well, guess what? The First Amendment was too. So go back to writing quill pens and get off the internet if that's your whole thought process.
Well, I mean, seriously though, Dave. I mean, an AR-15, it is a gun. Sure, it's a gun, but I think you could still do just as much damage. These liberals act like, why don't you just buy a shotgun? But you could do just as much, if not more damage with a shotgun if you know what you're doing. You could take a lighter, Dave, and I could light it, and I could burn you with a lighter. The lighter didn't burn you, I burnt you. So that lighter, is that considered a assault weapon then?
It's an assault lighter then, I guess.
An assault lighter. That's the whole point, Dave, and everybody out there listening. I just can't get in the heads of these liberals. For some reason, I mean, I don't hate liberals. I just, like I've said it 100 times, I don't like their ideology. I can't figure it out. And if any liberals out there listening, Democrats, socialists, communists, if you want to call in tonight, or patriots, if you want to call in our show tonight here in a little bit, please start calling in. I'll give you the number here in a little bit. But I'm just so sick and tired of this AR, assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle. AR stands for Armor Light Rifle. Am I correct on that, Dave?
Yep, you're correct, Donald. And the thing that it's a regular semi-automatic rifle, just like a Ruger Mini 14 Ranch rifle, if you will. That's all wood. They shoot the same round. They both take the same magazines. It just looks scarier, and it fits in more into the media's narrative of banning this big, bad assault rifle.
So, wood is good and plastic's bad. I mean, plastic is scary then, right?
Well, and I think what people do is they fail to realize, you can customize that gun more than you can any other weapon, and they take advantage of that because people put lights on them. They put forward grips and angled grips, and they put IR lights, and it makes them look more tactical. But in reality, they're pretty much the same weapon.
Yeah, I mean, every time you pull the trigger, they shoot. But it goes back. I could come back on the liberals and say, well, why do you buy a VW Volkswagen instead of a Chevy pickup truck? I mean, it's nobody's. We don't have to have a reason to purchase a certain firearm. We have a right, just like you have a right to go out and buy what kind of car you want, what color car you want. That's the kind of things that I don't think the liberals understand. And they sure use their First Amendment by making these stupid comments all the time. And they try to use the First Amendment to take away our Second Amendment. And Dave, another thing, I'm telling you, I'm getting mad, I'm getting fired up right now. These people don't understand. If they disarm America and somehow they take away that Second Amendment, this country will not be, the world wouldn't be the same. I'll tell you now. This whole country would be like a third world country. These Democrats, they would be running to people like us who own guns, these ARs, these big scary AR-15s.
And the thing that you have to remember is where does it stop? If they take the Second Amendment, does it stop at the Second Amendment? Do we go ahead and take the Fourth Amendment or the Sixth Amendment or the First? They've already proved, if you go back to the Bundy Ranch, they tried to establish free speech zones. Doesn't work that way, people. This country is a free speech zone.
I'm just getting tired of the whole thing. I mean, I just, like me and Dave always says, we're trying to change this country one show at a time. And if anybody out there is on the fence, if they're leaning a little bit to the left, come on back to the right a little bit. I'm not saying that the Republican way is the perfect way, but at least they're trying to defend and save our rights, our God-given rights that our founding fathers put in that Constitution. And I'm really sick of talking about it. I mean, I wouldn't even be talking about this tonight if there hadn't have been another school shooting this morning. But anyway, Dave, I'm going to move on to the next subject. In the last 19 days, there's been 6 package bombs set off in Austin, Texas. Now they believe these bombs, all these bomb things are all related. I guess the fifth one they didn't think they were related, but I don't think it's a terrorist. I just think it's some nut job out there. I mean, what do you think about the Austin bombings? All these package bombs that's going off in Austin, Texas.
Well, I think it's obviously a sick individual, and I guess maybe somebody should tell them that bombs are illegal, and they should probably ban them. I mean, considering they all the time coming after the Second Amendment, and this just goes to prove our point, guys. It doesn't matter what you make illegal. Intent is in a person's heart, whether it be good or evil. That the intent is in a person's heart. It's nowhere else. What they decide to do with that, whatever animate object they decide to use, whether it's a gun, a bomb, a knife, they're eventually going to catch this guy, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and maybe we need a new hashtag ban bombs. I mean, bombs kill people. Like I said, you can take a butter knife, a dull butter knife, and you can kill somebody with it. You can take your hand and really hurt somebody or kill somebody with your hand. Is your hand considered an assault weapon? I mean, like you said, Dave, when is enough going to be enough? And it's like we got to keep talking about this because they won't leave it alone. They just won't leave our rights alone. And that's the thing that pisses me off the most. And I don't mean to get mad and cuss, but I really, my heart, I love this country. This is our home, you guys. It is our home. And like any home, and just like Trump trying to put a wall down there on the southern border. I mean, it's not just Mexicans that are coming across that border, folks. We got terrorists coming across that border. And like your home, this is our home. Would you let your doors stay wide open at night and just let anybody come in your home without checking to see if they're bad or good, or let strangers come in your home? This country is our home. If you live here, this country is your home.
It is, and I mean, the thing that people have to remember is you have to have secure borders, you have to have a rule of law, but at the same time, we have rights that are granted to us by our forefathers that nobody is going to take away without a fight. I can promise you that.
Well, Dave, you was saying something the other day that, and it's bad to say this, it's gotten to the point, I mean, and Dave said it, and I agree with him. I'm to the point, just like him, if it's going to happen, something's going to happen where they come and try to take the guns away or our rights. I wish it would happen now while I'm young enough to fight, to help protect my family and I don't want it to happen when I get old or I'm gone. I want to be here to be able to defend my family. I know you feel the same way, Dave. I'm ready for them to bring it on now. If they're going to do it while I'm young and while I'm alive.
Yeah. I mean, if something bad's going to happen, I'd rather it happen now to me, and that way we can try to deal with it and get it over with, and that way our children won't have to deal with it. I mean, that's part of the problem now. With all these school shootings and stuff is we've lost our morals somewhere along the line. We've turned our back on God. We've lost our morals. We don't have a gun problem. We have a morality problem in this country.
Well, and also, too, Dave, I know we've said this on here before, that back in the old days, they had insane asylums, and when somebody was proven to be insane, where they weren't capable of being on the streets without killing somebody, they would lock them up. And I know nowadays that people say, oh, that's a bad thing, you can't lock them up. But at least, Dave, back in the old days, you didn't hear about all this. Even when I was a kid, you didn't hear about all these school shootings, all these murderings, these bombings. I mean, they happened. I'm sure they did. Little things happen, and people were assassinated, but not like today, Dave. Everything has changed in this country, and I think it's for the worse. And we've got a good president that's really trying to protect the Constitution, but we have people that are out there fighting him every day. Every day it's just a struggle for that man. He cannot get a moment's break. I support President Trump. His tweets, I don't mind his tweets because Obama, when he first became president, he said he was going to be very transparent. No, he was not transparent. By Trump tweeting, I think that's transparent, Dave.
Well, I mean, some people look at it and they say it makes him an ineffective leader, but if you look at some of the things that it's accomplished, how many other leaders, past administrations, have had Kim Jong-un wanting to come to the table to negotiate? I mean, if you look back, we've done nothing to them in the past but bow down to them, throw up sanctions that do nothing, Now you got a man standing strong and saying, hey, you keep it up. We've got the most powerful military in the world, and you're going to find out why.
You're exactly right. And once again, you guys, if we sound like we're echoing, like I said, we're using a microphone, and we're in a school right now, and it's a big open room. So if we sound like we're in an auditorium, I do apologize. But it happens. It's live radio. But you guys know last week I was telling Dave here about Jeff Sessions firing FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Now, this former CIA director, John Brennan, which he was appointed by President Obama, of course, he took to Twitter, I think it was today or last night, and he was talking, Dave, he was talking all kinds of crap about our president. And I'm going to read you this tweet, Dave, if you don't mind. It's kind of a lengthy tweet, but I'll get to it pretty quick. His tweet, this is from John Brennan, he's the ex-CIA director, John Brennan. He said, when the full extent of your venality, whatever the heck that means, moral turpitude, and political corruption becomes known, you will take your rightful place as a disgraced demagogue in the dustbin of history. You may scapegoat Andy McCabe, but you will not destroy America. America will triumph over you. Now, this is coming from a liberal talking about a man who is talking about making America great again. Jeff Sessions fired that other guy, Andrew McCabe, because he was doing things he wasn't supposed to do. He was ineffective. He wasn't doing his job. Sure, it was a couple of days before his so-called retirement. But how many people out there do lose their jobs every day before they get to retire? There's a lot of them. But just because this guy, Andrew McCabe, I do believe he was a Republican, but like I said, you can't trust all of these Republicans. These are all leftovers from the Obama era. You got anything you want to say about this CIA, this ex-CIA director, whatever the heck his name was, Dave?
John, was it Brennan? Yeah, I think, Donald, Rand Paul burned him up on that tweet afterward. And
filibuster too.
Yeah, he filibustered him to begin with, and I think what people need to realize is, Brennan under Obama was part of the whole problem of wiretapping and spying on Americans. They don't care about our rights. Brennan was part of the problem.
Well, that's one of the reasons I think that Queen Clinton isn't behind bars yet neither, Dave. These people are not doing their job. There you go, right there. We get pulled over. We're going to go to jail if we're drinking and driving. I don't drink and drive, but just say I was. I'd go to jail. Here we got a lady named Hillary Clinton that sold uranium to Russians, and we'll talk about Russia here in a little bit, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Vladimir Putin. They just had an election in Russia here the last couple of days ago, but here's this lady, Hillary Clinton, sold uranium, didn't care about that she killed 4 soldiers over in Benghazi, Libya, and still, she's walking around today talking crap about our president. I don't even like really bringing her name up on this show, Dave, but it makes me sick that justice has not been served on Hillary Clinton.
Well, no, and it's not going to. If you remember, when I first started coming on the show, I talked about the Clinton machine. Those people think that they're above the law. And the 4 men that she left behind in Benghazi was enough for me. But then, between the emails and Uranium One and just the path of dead bodies that seems to follow her everywhere she goes, they're not good people. They're not for this country. They're for making money, getting richer, and the rich get richer, and it seem like they want the poor to get poorer.
You're absolutely right on that, and I'll tell you that now. And believe me, Hillary Clinton is not for the poor people like she says, and now she's trying to apologize for some of the comments she made while she was over in India. Did you read some of them apologies or whatever?
I didn't read the apologies because she's irrelevant to me. But her comment that women were forced by their husbands to vote for Trump was just asinine. It's a slap in the face to every real, red-blooded American who wants to make America great again. And hopefully you guys will remember that when you go vote in these upcoming midterms. That's what you need to do. That's where we can make the difference, guys. You need to remember this stuff. Take it to the poll with you and see if we can't get some of these yahoos out.
You're absolutely right, and I just drew a blank. I know what I was wanting to tell you now. Last week, I'm glad we brought up Hillary Clinton now because I heard a lot of talk that President Trump won the election because of white lash. This word, white lash. Now, if I remember right, Dave, wasn't Hillary Clinton white? So how did Trump win this election over white lash? I mean, she was white. I don't get it. I mean, what are they talking about?
Well, I think that they're trying to categorize us as uneducated, white, redneck, hillbilly Americans.
Deplorables.
Well, deplorables, exactly. And if that's the case, you know what? We're deplorables. Plain and simple. But here's the facts. We want to put this country first. We want it to be great. We want everybody to have an equal chance. It doesn't matter what your race, creed, or religion is. If you bleed red, white, and blue, you stand behind that flag, and you love this country, then you need to be here. If you're not, go somewhere else. All these celebrities that run their mouth when Trump was elected, how many of them actually left?
Speaking of these celebrities, Dave, Mr. Matt Damon, he's played in a lot of movies. Him and his wife and his family, they said they're going to head to Australia and live because they do not like President Trump. I got 2 words for you, Mr. Matt Damon. See ya. And I don't know what else to tell you. And Cher, if you don't like him, and Rosie O'Donnell, you guys can follow Matt Damon and find you a nice home. I don't even think the Australians want you over here, though, because there's a lot of patriots in Australia, too.
Exactly. And, a thing that a lot of people seem to realize is Hollywood has took a beating since these celebrities have come out and opened their mouth. People don't care what your politics are. If nobody in Hollywood's probably listening, but if you are, guess what? I don't care who you voted for. I'm not coming to watch your movie to care about what your politics are. I'm coming to watch your movie to be entertained. I could care less who you voted for or what your opinion is, because I know it's going to be different from mine, especially living out there in commie California.
Oh, yeah, and Jimmy Kimmel and Mr. Colbert, yes, you're there for entertainment. We don't care what you get on there. And one of them was even trying to, I'll get into that in a minute about Stormy Daniels. We didn't talk about that last week. We might have mentioned it, but Jimmy Kimmel was on there, and he was trying to get money raised so she can sue our president. This Stormy Daniels, she was a prostitute. She is accusing our president of some kind of sexual misbehavior that happened back in the mid-2000s. Dave, why is it she waited till now that he's president? Why didn't she try to sue him back in the mid-2000s when it happened? Why now? Stormy Daniels, that ain't even your real name, but that's what everybody knows you by.
Well, and the biggest thing is now, the Russian collusion is pretty much winding down. They're finding out that that's a joke. Mueller needs to be gone. They're wasting taxpayer money. So now they're just trying to throw some more slop up against the wall to see what sticks. Newsflash, guys. The people that voted for him don't care what he did 12 years ago. He wasn't in office. If you're calling him a bad guy for what he did in office, let's go back to Mr. Clinton, who was only one of the second presidents impeached, and what he did in the Oval Office while he was married. So, if you want to sling dirt, that can go both ways. Stormy Daniels is irrelevant to me. What he done 12 years ago, I don't care about. I care about what he does right now as the commander-in-chief of this country. I care about him putting more money in my pocket. I care about him ending the Obamacare mandate. I care about him taking care of our troops. I care about him redoing the veteran stuff. That way, our vets can get the proper care that they need. That's what I care about. I don't give a crap about Stormy Daniels because all the media is doing is making her more money because there's a bunch of libtards that are shoving money wherever she wants it shoved at, and she can take a hike.
Oh, I'm sure her movies and from now here on out, they'll make a lot more money, Dave. They'll get a lot more views because she is suing the president, and everybody thinks our president had sex with her. And like Dave says, that's between him, his wife, and God. Now, what Clinton did when he was in office, Now, he did have sex with Monica Lewinsky, and I'll tell you the truth, I really didn't care what he did with Monica Lewinsky, but the thing was, the dude lied about it. I mean, if he'd have just got on there, I think he was under oath.
He lied under oath.
Lied under oath. But if he'd have just got on there and said, yeah, I had sex with the lady, or oral sex, whatever he considered sex, I don't know, cigars and stuff. I don't know what kind of kinky stuff Bill Clinton's in. I don't know what, he's from Arkansas. Some of those people down there are like that, I guess. It's in the air down there, but I don't know, when you're playing with cigars in the Oval Office with a lady in a blue dress named Monica Lewinsky, and your wife is sleeping upstairs, that's between you, your wife, and God. And don't lie about it, Bill, but you did lie about it. You got busted under oath, but the liberals don't care about what Bill Clinton did, all the shady things that President Obama did, but they always focus in. I don't care if Trump winked his eye the wrong way. They're going to think he's plotting against something. He's trying to hurt America. No, we finally got a man that's trying to save this damn country and put it back on track like Ronald Reagan had it.
Yeah, and we've said it time and time again. You know, I think Trump could cure cancer, every cancer known to man, and the liberals are going to find a way to say something to make him look bad, to screw it up. You know, it's ridiculous, guys. Who cares about Stormy Daniels? She needs to go bye-bye. Nobody cares. I don't care what he done to you 12 years ago. You know, he's the president now. That's what we worry about, what he does now, how he helps our country or hurts it now. And so far, he's helped it. He's put more money in my pocket. He ended an Obamacare mandate that took my health care premiums up 300%. You know, health care isn't a right, guys. It's a service. It's not a right. So what he's done is he's helped this country. He's helped me. He's helped Donald. I mean, so if you're in the working class, that man has helped you.
Oh, and by the way, Vladimir Putin had no influence on me voting for President Trump. I know that they said he meddled in our elections. I don't know. If he meddled in our daggone 2016 elections, then why did Hillary Clinton win the popular vote? I mean, she did win the popular vote, Dave. I mean, people seem to forget that, but if they meddled so much in our elections, don't you think she would have won the electoral college vote and everything if they'd meddled?
Well, I mean, I voted for Trump too, and I'm still waiting for Putin to send me some of that Russian vodka he promised me. But here, I mean, the thing is, guys, you know, she won the popular vote, but if you look at how many counties that man won all over the country compared to the counties that she won, you know, and that's why we have the electoral college. That's why that's important. That way you don't have libtard left California and even worse left, you know, New York on the coast, you know, on these coasts dictating our policies. You know, our founding fathers knew what they were doing. They set this republic up to be one of the greatest ever in history.
Well, you're right. And Dave, I'm glad you said the word republic. We're supposed to be living in a republic. I know a lot of people says that we live in a democracy, but it is a republic. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Just like the Pledge of Allegiance, it says, "And to the republic for which we stand." It does not say, "And to the democracy for which it stands." To the republic, you guys. Now, Dave, if you don't mind, will you just tell everybody the difference between a republic and a democracy, please?
All right, guys, and I mean, I'll keep it simple, guys. You know, in a democracy, if you have a bicycle and 4 people decide that they want it, they're taking your bicycle. In a constitutional republic, you know, if those 4 people decide they want it, you have rights to your property. You know, that's the easiest way to describe it. A constitutional republic gives each individual their own rights, and the majority does not rule.
Now, Dave, we was talking about, you know, poor Vladimir Putin. They said Trump's in cahoots with Putin, but he did win the Russian election here a few days ago. But I'll tell you the truth, Dave, I didn't think he was going to lose. I don't think Russia's fully a democracy country or a capitalistic country yet. I still think there's a little bit of communism going on over there. I don't trust him. Probably, and I mean, I don't trust him, but I mean, he's an effective leader over there. I mean, I mean, you know, it don't matter how you look at it. And Putin don't want
to mess with the United States. He's in a position where his country is going to do better if we're working together. He don't want conflict with us no more than we want conflict with them.
Well, Dave, I've had a lot of people, they send me messages all the time, and I hate to ask you this question. We've never talked about this on this show, but so many people send me things, and they're always talking about a deep state. And a deep state, I guess, is a group of people that runs our politicians that are making the decisions, and the politicians are basically figureheads. Dave, do you believe or do you not believe there is a deep state in this country?
I think that there probably is to a certain extent. I don't think that it probably goes as deep as a lot of people want to make it believe that it goes. But to think that nothing ever exists, I mean, we already know that, Obama travels around pretty much when Trump does, and, they're running stuff almost a form of a shadow government. Sometimes you just, the things that make you shake your head, but to think that, it's totally clean and not a deep state, I think would be naive.
Yeah, well, like he says, I'm not really into all this, I don't know what you call it, conspiracy theory. Some of it sounds legit, but I just can't get on here and talk conspiracy theory. I really like to have facts. A lot of it sounds good, it really does. Some of it may be true, but I just can't get on here and talk about it. And we're 8:33 p.m. Eastern time right now. I'm going to give everybody, you guys can start calling in if you want to. It's up to you. The number is 1-800-508-5431. Please call in.
And, hey guys, give us a call. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Well, Dave, here in this last week, I was watching a video. There's this thing in our government. It's called the Black Caucus. Have you ever heard of the Black Caucus, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Now, tell us, Dave. Well, I can tell you what a Black Caucus is. It's members of Congress that are black, okay? To me, that's another form of division in the country. I don't know, what would they do if we had a white caucus? There's no such thing, but so we have a Black Caucus, and that's fine. I don't care. But a few members of the Black Caucus, Dave, they've been caught hanging around Louis Farrakhan. Now, I'm going to tell you, Louis Farrakhan, I'm talking about Maxine Waters and
Al Green.
It was Al Green and somebody from the DNC, and there was even a picture of ex-President Obama with Louis Farrakhan. Now he's the leader of what they call the Nation of Islam. You guys, this guy, he hates Jews, he hates white people. So why would anybody elect people like Maxine Waters and this Al Green guy that has anything to do with Farrakhan? This man is a racist. They talk about Trump being racist. Farrakhan makes Trump look like Jesus.
Yeah, he does. I mean, honestly, he's a piece of crap. And this is my opinion only. To me, that is not a peaceful religion. I know that you can there's extremists in every religion. I realize that. But I guess, if you go back and look and you actually think about it, let's just look at, if a Muslim believes in Sharia, then they have no place in this country, because Sharia is in direct contrast with our Constitution.
Yeah, Sharia law, it doesn't even belong in this country. It's just the opposite of our Constitution. But Dave, there's a terrorist group, ISIS. They released some pictures of children executing prisoners in Afghanistan. These people are, Dave, I'm telling you, these I'll call these terrorist Muslims. That's what they are. They're radical Islamic Muslims. We're at war. People don't forget that. We're still at war with radical Islamic terrorists right now. Don't forget it. Our soldiers are still there dying. Some of them come home and they can't take it and even commit suicide, you guys.
22 a day.
22 a day. 22 veterans come home a day because they see some bad stuff. It really messes people up over there. But this group, ISIS, they released pictures of their children executing prisoners in Afghanistan. These people are nothing but animals, Dave. And to let their children to do things like this, and we have politicians that want these people in our country. We have enough trouble and problems in this country already, Dave. We don't need these people in our countries. These refugees or these. I tell you the truth. I'm not a racist against anyone, but when it comes against the Muslim religion, I'm going to tell you, if you read the Quran, the guy Muhammad, whoever was it, his name Muhammad, he's a pedophile. So why would we want these people in our country? I know America is a melting pot, but my God, any other religion don't look at us as infidels and want to kill us. It's a Muslim religion. And I'm only saying that because I read this story about this ISIS. You know, they think it's funny to have little kids executing people. I mean, what kind of parents are these Muslims raising, Dave?
Well, and that's their whole culture. From the time that they can walk, they're indoctrinated to hate our country. They're indoctrinated to hate Christians, to hate Jews. And that's why they grow up and they're willing to blow themselves up. They're willing to die for their religion because they're radical. I mean, they're extreme. Now, you know, I don't want people to think that we're picking on the Muslims, because there are a lot of good Muslims in this world. But the thing is, if you're a Muslim and you believe in Sharia, if you believe in that, then you have no business in this country. There's plenty of countries around the world that have Sharia law implemented. If you feel that strongly in it, go there. Don't come into my country where we have a constitution, where each individual in this country has rights, where women have fought to vote, to be treated equal, and expect us to bow down to Sharia law. If that's the way you feel, stay the heck out of our country.
Well, not only do they treat their children, I mean, I think that's not right, letting their children execute people, Dave, but even their women, I mean, they treat their women like animals. I mean, they make them cover up with these burqas. I mean, are they just jealous? Or I don't understand. I really tell you the truth, Dave, I don't want to understand them. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. Like Dave said, there probably is some good Muslims out there, but if you do read that Quran, you're following the teachings of a guy who slept with little kids, little girls, little boys. I don't know. It's just not me, you guys. I'm not into that stuff. But I'll change the subject, Dave. The United States Capitol building. There's a place in the Capitol building, in our Capitol in the United States, Washington D.C. It's called Sanctuary Hall. And what Sanctuary Hall is that every state in this country has sent a statue of somebody that was of importance to that state. And some of these statues have been there for hundreds of years. Now, I was reading something the other day, Dave, that Florida, I guess it was today, that Florida passed this bill to remove the statue out of Statuary Hall in our capital. Florida did. And the statue was of a Confederate general. His name was Edmund Kirby Smith. Now, they're going to be replacing the statue with a statue of an African-American woman named Mary McLeod Bethune, or something like that. I can't pronounce it. Mary McLeod Bethune. Now, Bethune founded an institute that later became Bethune-Cookman University. It's a black university. Now, Dave, why are they taking these? Here we go, back again to monuments. With these monuments, these statues in Statuary Hall, they're sacred to these states. Why has it been there? That statue, I researched it, Dave, of General Edmund Kirby Smith, that's been there since 1922. Why would they all of a sudden, in 2018, decide to take that statue down and replace it of an African-American woman? And I don't like using that word African-American, because we're all Americans. What do you think? I mean...
Well, here's the thing, guys. The Confederacy, people call them traitors to their country. But what a lot of people fail to realize is, during that era, a man's loyalty was to his state. It wasn't to the federal government. The federal government played a very limited role at that time. So their loyalty was to their state. So wherever their state decided to fight at during the Civil War, that's where that particular individual fought at, because their loyalty was to their state. So these men, Congress recognized these guys as veterans, and and to be treated with the same respect as any other veteran, any other dead soldier. And it's bullcrap that they're pulling these guys out because of political correctness, because people on the left are crying. Guys, if you're that butthurt over an inanimate object, what you need to do is you need to lock yourself in the corners, in a room somewhere in the corner, and figure out your problems, because they're more than that statue. That's for sure.
You're right, Dave. And I just got word that people are trying to call in right now. There's all kinds of people trying to call in this 1-800 number. It's 1-800-508-5431, but they're not getting through. Jimmy, if you can hear me out there, Joe said he was going to switch the lines over at 8. I've got a lot of text messages saying that people cannot get through. How many missed calls have we missed, you guys? 32 people have wrote us and said they've tried to call in and they can't get through. So, you guys, that's out of my hands. It was supposed to have been switched over. I do apologize. Please, I know that I tried to call last week when we was doing a show, and you actually have to give your name and push a number. So try that and see if it comes through. If not, the phones aren't turned on or something, but I don't know. But I did get a message. People are trying to call. They're not coming through. So Jimmy, if you can hear me, see if you can find out what's going on with that number. At least we can get a few phone calls here in the last 15 minutes of our show. Please, Jimmy, help us out if you can hear us, buddy. But anyway, Dave, you know there's a possibility of another government shutdown. There's this $1.3 trillion spending bill that has to do something with DACA, abortion, and some massive rail project. Now, I'm telling you, action is needed by midnight Friday to stop another government shutdown. I don't get these government shutdowns, and yes, I wish the phones was working. Had a lot of people calling. I don't know what's up with the phones out there, you guys. I'm sorry, but yes, we're facing another government shutdown. We're just going to have to go and do the show without the calls, Dave.
That's fine. And guy, here's the thing, though. You know, the Democrats are screaming DACA now again. Some of them are. And guess what? You know what happened to it when the Republicans wanted to talk about it? They didn't want to talk about it then. Why? Because something else they thought fit their agenda better, which was gun control. So basically, they're just hopping from issue to issue to issue to try to throw anything up against the wall to see what sticks. They don't care, you know, if the government shuts down. And what's the first thing they say? Oh, well, you know, you're not going to get Social Security, or the troops aren't going to get paid. Well, guess what, guys? All that stuff should be separate anyway. You know, they should deal with this stuff on separate bases. They should come together, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, we've got entirely too many politicians in Washington, D.C. that have been in those positions for too long, Republican and Democrat. You know, the thing is, you know, you've got guys that have been up for 20, 30, 40 years, and their coats might as well be a billboard for the people that stuck money in their pocket, because that's who they're loyal to. They're not loyal to the American people. And then you've got real patriots coming up, and I'm going to throw a name out there. Rand Paul. To me, Rand Paul is a constitutionalist. You know,
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, the senator from Kentucky. That man will stick to the Constitution. He'll stand his ground. And I wouldn't have been disappointed if he'd become the president of the United States, because he's a constitutionalist, in my opinion. You know, that's the thing. These guys aren't sticking to the Constitution. They're more worried about who's padding their pocket, where they're getting their next dollar from, and that's where their loyalty lies. We need term limits. We need to get a budget put together. We need this government shutdown crap to stop. You know, let's take care of our elderly people. Let's take care of our veterans. Let's take care of our troops and move this country forward. You know, that's the problem. They cannot work together, Republican or Democrat, either one. You know, these people, you need to work together. You need to be Americans first, Republicans and Democrats, liberals, whatever you want to call it, second, America first.
Well, I'm getting another message here. It says people can't call, and it's saying that there's like a 95-minute wait is what the answer machine is saying. So, again, everybody out there, I want to apologize because nobody can call in tonight. It's not my fault. This is live radio. Things do happen. It's not our producer's fault. Things happen. But we'll move on. How much time? We got another 15 minutes here. But we all know that it's against the law to be in this country illegally. But it seems like out in California, it's okay to do whatever you want out there. Now, out in California here recently, there was an illegal alien. He was appointed to a public office in California by a state senator. I mean, how can you take an illegal alien and appoint him to a public office when he is an illegal alien?
It was a lady.
It was a lady. I don't know it, but I just look at him as an illegal. I mean, you're not supposed to be in this country without a work visa, citizenship card or something, permission. How can you get appointed to a public office in California when you're illegal? I just don't get it. It just, it makes me crazy.
Well, and Don, it's not just California. I think, if you look at Baltimore, look at Baltimore.
I got a good one on Baltimore.
Yeah, look at Baltimore. Baltimore can't afford to heat their schools, and, they're crying that they can't afford, heat for their schools, but they take and come up with $200,000 for a defense fund for illegal aliens.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, their mayor. And then California's a joke. If the Oakland mayor, if you're warning illegals that ICE is coming, you committed a crime. Your ass needs to be locked up behind bars. Don't collect $200. Don't go past go. Go straight to jail. That's harboring a fugitive. If they're in this country illegal, you're a fugitive. Get out. We don't want you. We don't need you. Period. Leave. See you later.
Yeah, Dave, the mayor of Baltimore, Catherine Pugh, she got this fund that'll pay for a defense lawyer for an illegal alien. But if an American citizen that's poor and don't have any money gets in trouble, guess what? He's going to get some court-appointed attorney that don't care. Now, when you get paid representation, a paid lawyer, they're going to work harder to get you out of trouble. Now, why is it, Dave, that American citizen, they cannot get like Baltimore? They're going to pay for the defense attorneys now. An American that lives here has to get a free court-appointed attorney. That's wrong. Catherine Pugh, you need to be locked up. I hope you. Well, I don't live in Baltimore. It's the people that vote these people in. It's like Dave said, most of these big cities, if they went by the popular vote in this country, the big cities would rule, So that's why we do have the Electoral College vote. Thank God. One of the remaining remnants left of our republic, that in our jury system. But Catherine Pugh, you need to go to jail for what you're doing. Rob Emanuel there in Chicago, Jerry Brown, the governor of California, Kate Brown, the governor of Oregon, you all, Maxine Waters, Dianne Feinstein, all you freaks deserve to go to jail, and I'm sick of it. I'm calling war on liberals tonight here. I'm tired of it.
It is ridiculous, and the sad part about it is, look at California. They treat an illegal alien better than they do a veteran. You've got homeless veterans living in the streets. You've got homeless Americans living in the streets, and you're more worried about an illegal alien. Why? Because you think that they're going to vote for you the next time. It's ridiculous. It's time to put America first. Build the wall, build it high, build it tall, build it strong. And, all the little DACA babies, we can take you and throw your butt over the top of it because you ain't supposed to be here anyway. I'm tired of hearing, you're ripping them away from their family. Well, guess what, people? They broke the law. If I break the law, they take my ass to jail, and they don't care if it separates me from my family. They don't care. They're going to lock me up. What makes them any different? I don't care if their parents brought them here illegally or not. If they're here, they're not supposed to be here. Get your butt back to wherever it is you come from. I don't care if you've never been there before. Blame that on your mommy and daddy, not on me.
Well, yeah. When in the heck did it start that an illegal alien gets better benefits than an American citizen? That's what I'm talking about. That ideology, this liberal socialism, communist ideology where we'll take care of an illegal alien more than we will an American citizen or a homeless veteran. We can't even take care of our homeless veterans. But yes, Catherine Pugh and all these people are spending all this money on illegals. Dave, you got a right to be mad. You got every right to be mad. And I'll tell you, in this country, in this world, there's two types of people in this world, you guys. There's predators and there's prey. Now, I'm not a predator, but if they I'm a sheepdog. I do belong to a constitutional militia. But I'm going to tell you, this is predator or prey. I'm not a predator, but if they take our guns away, I will become prey. You will all become prey. So the predators are always going to keep their guns. People always say, take your guns, take your guns. Who are they going to take them from? They're going to take them from the bad guy or the good people. The bad guys are always going to have guns. So we will become prey. If they ever take our Second Amendment right away, we will not be, I don't want to be a predator, but we will become prey if we lose our Second Amendment right.
Well, Donald, and that's why we have militias in this country. That's why we have the United Sheepdogs of Ohio and a lot of other good militias around this country that believe in being sheepdogs and watching over the flock. You know, the people that don't want to get their hands dirty. You know, there's a thin line between right and wrong, and you know, there's a lot of people that cross it, and that's why we're there. You know, we're there to make sure that, you know, those predators don't prey on the innocent.
Well, yeah, if we can keep our guns, Dave, and I just hope to God we can keep our guns. And Dave, somewhere in the Declaration of Independence, it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To me, happiness is no longer a right. It's more like a fight. It's like you got to fight to be happy in this country anymore. That's not the way this country was set up. Why do we have to fight for happiness? We're supposed to have the right to happiness. But no, now we've been forced to fight, and that's what we should do. Just like we went to Columbus here a couple weeks ago to a pro-gun rally. Everybody needs to get up, open their eyes, stand up, and speak out against what's going on, because I'm telling you, just like Dave mentioned earlier, this midterm election coming up in this November of this year. This means everything, you guys. If we lose the House and the Senate, that means in 2020, if we lose President Trump, we're done. We're done. Think about it, you guys. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well stick a fork in us, because the libtards are going to run wild if that happens. And yes, I said libtards, because guys, you know what? We've said it before. There is a difference between I'll use my mother-in-law for an example. You know, she was an old blue dog Democrat, and unfortunately, she watches too much CNN and MSNBC, and she still thinks that that's how, you know, the Democratic Party is. You know, she's waking up finally, but you know, those people are few and far between anymore, guys. You know, the Democratic Party has went so far left. They're socialists now, and they want a socialist government. I mean, when Obama come into office and he mandated health care, when he forced me to buy health care or to be penalized, and then took my premium up 300%, you know, and then said, oh, well, that's not my problem because we want to make sure everybody has it. So you want to penalize me for getting out and trying to do better, trying to make a living, trying to support my family, but you want to give Joe Schmo on the corner free health care at my expense? That's socialism, guys.
Yeah, you're right, Dave, and I don't know what we got, a few minutes left here, but last week the House passed this bipartisan school safety bill. I don't know if you heard about this, Dave, but this bill gives $50 million a year to train students, teachers, and law enforcement on how to spot and report signs of gun violence. So that means so all these millions of dollars a year to train police, like a police officer don't already know how to report a shooting victim? I mean, what is this money really going to go for, Dave? This sneak spending this $50 million a year to train people. What are they talking about with this?
You know, it goes back to government waste. You know, we've talked about it before. Big government, you know, spending too much money, too much red tape. That's one of the things that our president right now is trying to do. You know, for every new regulation, he said 2 had to go bye-bye. You know, then you got people screaming, oh, he's going to destroy the environment. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. But guess what, guys? When you do that, when you make deregulation, and I'm talking common sense deregulation here. I'm not talking about saying you can go dump hydrochloric acid in your local river. Okay, we're talking common sense regulations. When you deregulate the country, you cut taxes. What happens? Companies grow. When companies grow, they hire. Unemployment rates go down. You don't have to look no further than what's going on in our country right now. I mean, right now, you know, we talked about this last week, Dom. Right now, small business, their biggest concern is hiring workers, not taxes, and not government regulations. It's for the first time since 2006.
Well, I think that's a really good thing. I mean, for the country, for people out there to be looking to hire people. But, Dave, I didn't mean to change the subject, but I've been seeing all these little kids walking out of school. These kids that they're not old enough to even purchase a gun. They're not old enough to vote. These teachers, I think a lot of these teachers and these college professors, like I've said it before, they're brainwashed our children. These kids are walking out of school. They're not walking out of school because they really care about gun rights. Most of these kids are walking out of school because they want to get out of school. They don't care about guns. They they're too young to even care about guns. But if I had a child, and I know a lot of people, they got letters, and a lot of the parents didn't even get letters, and their kids went walking against guns. I think they should let the parents know about it before they did that. But no, kids should not be walking out of school protesting against guns. And Dave, that's another thing Catherine Pugh did in Baltimore. She supplied 60 buses. I don't know if she did it yet, or it's coming up.
Over $100,000.
$100,000 worth of buses to get kids to Washington, D.C. to protest against guns. These kids aren't even old enough to buy guns. They're not old enough to vote. What? I don't get it.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing. If those kids want to protest guns, I'm all for it. But you don't do it in the middle of the school day. You set up the protest so you're not affecting other people's rights that don't want to protest. I have two daughters they're in school right now. One's in high school, one's in middle school, and they're both obviously very, very pro-gun. I mean, they can both take an AR-15 down, separate it, clean it, pistols. They shoot with me on a regular basis. But the thing is, they're not going to get up and walk out because even if it was a pro-gun rally. Why? Because they were raised that you don't disrespect the school, you don't disrespect the teacher, you don't disrespect the people there. If you want to protest, you do it the right way. You don't just get up and walk out and make a commotion. It's ridiculous. And here's the thing, guys. When you stop eating Tide Pods, then you can talk to me about my rights. When you stop doing all these stupid little challenges that you do, then you can talk to me about my rights. But and you're eating a Tide Pod. I mean, we done stupid stuff when we were kids, but I never ate a Tide Pod. I mean, I got my mouth washed out with soap, but I didn't say, "Hey, Mom, can I have that Tide Pod? It looks yummy."
Well, you're right, Dave. I agree with everything you said there. And again, I want to apologize because nobody's calling in. I don't know what's wrong with the phone tonight. And I do apologize once again. You can still try to call in again. I don't know. I don't think it's my phone, but number, it's too late now. We only got 2 minutes left. But yeah, the kids, they're not doing what we did when we was young. Heck, when I was a kid, I mean, I was worried about playing cops and robbers or going out and playing army men or playing army, and we would used to have stick fights. We would dig holes. And, I'll tell you another thing, too. These liberals are so anti-gun, no guns this, no guns that. But what do? They let their kids play games where they blow people's heads off on these new modern games.
You got these celebrities speaking out against guns, but they make violent movies. They use guns in their movies. They don't believe in it enough not to make money off of it. So here's the thing, guys. I mean, everybody has a right in this country. Everybody has the right, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. We all have that right. But when your right infringes on other people, then that's when you need to look back and say, hey, is that really worth it?
Yeah, Dave, you're right there, and I really. We got our the show's getting to end. Once again, I want to apologize for everybody that tried to call in tonight. They couldn't call in. I had one of my friends just now call. So I want to say tune in next week. Hopefully we'll get the phones working. And God bless each and every one of you. Tune in to All Aboard next week. Dave, say goodbye.
Hey, everybody, I want to thank you guys for listening, and I want to send a shout-out to all of our troops out there. I know a lot of them listen to the shows, and we love you, we pray for you, and we hope that you guys stay safe wherever you're at.
And we're not going to take it anymore. Stand up and be proud of your country.